Every place you think of moving to has a good side and a bad side. So today we're going to talk about the sweet and the sour things about moving to Florida. Hey everybody, it's Craig Cunha. I'm a real estate agent with John R. Wood Properties right here in Southwest Florida. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know more about what it's like to live, play, eat, sleep, or buy real estate in Southwest Florida, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you get all the videos as they come out. I'm getting calls from people every day, and I absolutely love it. Just sharing a little information about what it's like to be here and what it would be like to move here. If I can help you in any way, go ahead and reach out to me in your preferred method, either call, text, or email, and I'll be sure to get right back to you. Okay, so you've heard about pros and cons of living in an area. Today we're going to put a little spin on that. It's going to be the sweet and the sour of what it's like to move to Florida or live in Florida. So let's start with number one and talk about the fact that it's fun to live here. There's so much to do, whether it's inside or outside. There's always something going on. And given the fact that we have this wonderful weather, there's really nothing to keep you at home. So get out there and do something. Now, the sour side of that is too many people are moving here. I don't know if you saw the previous video, but I did a video on how there are so many people coming to the area. In fact, it's 950 people a day is what the report last said. So it is starting to fill up. People want to be here, and I can understand why. All right, well, number two is the air quality in Florida. We have some of the best air in this area, and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection puts out this report to show what our air quality is like. Anything in green is considered good, and a lot of it is because of our flat terrain and coastal breezes. So nothing has a chance to get caught up or pent up in our area, so it just blows right through. The sour side of that is all those people I mentioned coming in. The traffic is increasing. The pollutants that come from the vehicles they drive is also going to make it a little bit more dirty and polluted, but as long as those coastal breezes stay, we should be okay. The other thing that all that traffic does is it brings a lot of bad drivers. Yes, if you haven't heard it, Florida has a ton of bad drivers. I don't know if it's because we come from so many different areas, but I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't remember drivers being this bad, but we don't use blinkers. We kind of jam into tight areas if you want to get over somewhere, and there really isn't a lot of courtesy. So be ready for it and just adapt to it. All right, number three, this sweet thing is the wonderful weather that we have in the wintertime. This is why everybody comes here. That's why there's snowbirds, because the weather is amazing. However, if it gets under 70 degrees, we pull out our winter clothes. Yes, that is enough for us to put sleeves on, jackets on, and all that. Now, again, obviously you have to be here for a period of time to acclimate and have your blood thin enough to be that way, but I'm one of them. Yep, if it gets below 70, I need sleeves. Now, the sour side of that is it is so stinking hot in Florida in the summertime. I'm talking everything is hot. Your car's hot, inside and out. The sand's hot, the sidewalk's hot. Anything you touch is hot. So, at that point, you're going to be seeking out things like sunblock, shade, sleeves, pools, and AC. But that's a time of the year that we do tolerate so that we can get to the good stuff. All right, number four sweet thing is affordable housing does exist throughout the state of Florida. It is going to be mostly inland and on the northern end of the state. However, there are still pockets of affordable properties in most all the areas. However, the sour side is the bigger cities, the growth areas, yeah, it's getting expensive. In fact, just in our area here, Cape Coral has increased by 14% since last year, this same time of year. And Fort Myers is right behind it at 12%. Prior to that, during the earlier parts of the year, we were at a pace of maybe 4 or 5%, but it is rapidly changing. Prices are increasing, and it will be something that could make that affordable housing a little more difficult going forward. Number five sweet thing is all the beautiful colors. Florida is subtropical, so we get the bright greens, actually all kinds of shades of greens, all the blues in the sky and the water, the flowers, all the tropical plants. You can actually have fruit trees in your backyard. There's people who have mango trees that they are just come off in the dozens. In fact, they put them by the street side just so people can stop by and grab some for free. Anyway, The sour side of that is that it rains a lot in Florida, especially in the summer months. And we are prone to flooding in some areas. Now, my son finds a unique way to use the flooding if it happens to be happening in our area, but the overall situation of Florida is we are just above sea level. So some areas are a little more affected than others, but be aware the flooding is a potential problem in certain areas. So if you are going to be residing in that area, find out on the FEMA map if you'll need flood insurance where you are. Please get flood insurance if it's mandated, even if you pay cash for your home, because hazard insurance will not cover for rising water. It'll cover for flooding if a pipe broke or something like that, but not for rising water from a storm. Number 6, sweet thing and sour thing, and I'm going to clump them together because I'm going to talk about hurricanes for a minute. Yes, everybody talks about hurricanes, and you might think there's no sweet side to that or no pro to that, but my pro to it is you know a long time in advance that the storm's coming. You can get out, you can prepare, you can stock up on things you need. There's so many things you can do in advance to be ready, where many other natural disasters you have no warning. So that is one blessing that we get. Now, the sour side of that, if you're going to evacuate, there's only a couple ways. One is to fly out well in advance because there's going to be a point where they're going to stop flights or there's going to be too many people. The other is you have to drive north because there's nowhere else to go. There is no east, there is no west. You can try to run across the state to the other side, but storms have been known to cross back across or change direction, so you might be going right into the path instead of getting out of the way. The other sour thing about hurricanes is the aftermath. And I'm not talking about just the cleanup and just the repairs. I'm talking about living without power for extended periods of time, living without necessities like water and food. That's why everybody stocks up well in advance when they hear there's even a chance of a hurricane. And a generator could be a good thing if it's something that's affordable to you. Otherwise, a week to 2 weeks with no power means no AC. And storms happening during the summer. So we've already talked about how hot it gets here. Imagine that without your AC. Sweet thing number 7 is beaches are everywhere. Yes, Florida is a peninsula, so we are wrapped in beaches. So there's lots of different options. Just here in our area, we can go north to Venice Beach, Englewood Beach, Siesta Key. Casperson Beach is the shark-toothed capital of the world, so obviously that's a place that I like to take my boy. But you can run across the state, go over to Jupiter, numerous beaches over there, Miami Beach, so tons and tons of options for that. Most people in the state of Florida are only an hour to an hour and a half away from any type of beach. The sour side of that is that there are lots of tourists that come to our beaches. So you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to just take in the areas that you've become accustomed to going whenever you know there's going to be a lot of people. You'll figure out the pockets you can go to. There are some beaches that are less visited than others. But yes, tourists come. They're going to come throughout the year. Doesn't matter whether it's hot, cold, or in between. Sweet thing number 8 is the entertainment. There's a ton of stuff to do here. We have biking trails, hiking trails. Yes, I know the terrain's flat. We don't have a lot of hills for that, but the hiking and biking is something we do here. Obviously, we have a ton of places to go for sunsets. There are hot springs. Now, hot spring, the water is actually pretty cool. And when it comes out and goes down the rivers, you jump in an inner tube or in a kayak or in a paddleboard and you just ride it out. It's like a lazy river that you'll find at some of these amusement parks. We get it naturally. And there's also the Everglades. If you've never been on a fan boat and ripped through the Everglades to see gators and all kinds of other wildlife, it's something to behold. You have to try it at least once. And the sour side of that, I guess, would just be that some of these things can have a little bit of an expense to it. So you keep in mind what works best for your budget. But most of those things I mentioned are free. So get out there, enjoy what we offer here in Florida, and take in all the adventure and experiences that you can. Number 9 sweet thing for us here in Florida is there is explosive growth. So that means more homes, more opportunity, a lot of other things coming into our area. I mentioned all the entertainment that's already here. There's just so much more on its way that's going to allow us many more opportunities. Now, the sour side of that is that the construction can take forever. Mostly road construction is what I'm referring to, or the water and sewer expansion project. But construction as it is now, many projects take about 4 to 6 months for some of the production builders. But there's also beginning to be a shortage of supplies. So as those shortages continue, we're going to see longer build times. So if you are somebody that's considering new construction, keep in mind that what you start with at the outset could be changed, so plan accordingly. And number 10 sweet thing is this is an outdoors person's paradise. It doesn't matter whether you're a boater, a fisherman, if you're somebody that's a triathlete, if you just like to laze around on a beach, this is just an outdoor paradise. Now, the sour side of that is you also get the bugs, the mosquitoes, the no-see-ums, the snakes, the love bugs that will attach to your car in a black streak. And yes, you want to get them off as soon as possible. They will eat away the paint of your car. We also have obviously the gators, you've heard of those. We have iguanas and some other interesting tropical animals that can be in the area. So that's my list of the sweet and sour of living in Florida. And if you gained anything from this, please just go ahead and subscribe to the channel to get the future videos. If you have any questions or comments of what you'd like to see in the future, go ahead and leave a note down below. Or you can also check out these other videos that'll tell you a little bit more about what it's like to live in the area. If I can answer anything for you, please reach out by phone, text, email, because I've got your back when moving to the West Coast.